War has always been expensive. Armies don't march for free. Empires don't invade without money. And kings don't become legends without someone paying the bill. But what if I told you this simple truth? The world's first bankers didn't rise from peaceful trade. They rose from war. Today, we're diving into how ancient wars didn't just shape borders. They built the foundations of global finance. Bank loans, interest rates, government debt, central banks. All of it comes from conflict. So let's go back, far back, to where war made money. 1. The first war loans. Mesopotamia, 3000 BC. In ancient Mesopotamia, kings fought constant wars over land, rivers, and trade routes. And wars meant one thing. They needed grain, weapons, and soldiers, fast. But kings didn't always have enough resources. So what did they do? They borrowed. Temples and wealthy merchants became the world's first lenders. They gave grain, silver, and equipment to kings in exchange for repayment with interest once the war ended. If the king won, great, the lender became richer. If the king lost, well, sometimes they just disappeared. War wasn't just a battlefield. It was an investment. This was the birth of war financing, and it would change everything. 2. Egypt. The pharaohs and the hidden costs of empire. Egypt's empire looks glorious in the history books. But behind the pyramids and gold masks, there was a harsh reality. Egyptian wars were paid for by massive taxation. Pharaohs taxed grain, farmers, cattle, and even the dead. Yes, they taxed tombs. Every campaign into Nubia or the Levant required supplies that could bankrupt a region. But here's the twist. The Egyptian government discovered something powerful. War debt keeps people loyal. Once farmers owed the state, once soldiers relied on rations, once merchants depended on contracts, pharaohs controlled them completely. Egypt wasn't just an empire. It was an early military economic machine. 3. Ancient Greece. The birth of investor armies. Greek city-states were constantly at war. Athens versus Sparta, Corinth versus everyone versus Persia. But these wars introduced a new idea to the world: private war investors. Wealthy Athenian citizens called trierarchs paid to build warships. They weren't forced, they volunteered. Why? Because financing war gave them social prestige, political influence, access to trade networks, and huge profits if their city won. Imagine paying for a warship and then getting rich because your city gained new ports, slaves, or tribute. Ancient Greece invented crowd-funded warfare. 4. Persia. The first military taxes. The Persian Empire was massive, too big to manage with simple tribute. So Persia invented something revolutionary: a standardized tax system to fund military power. Every region paid a fixed amount of silver. That money went directly into a royal treasury used to maintain standing armies, elite cavalry, fortified road supply depots. This predictable income allowed the Persian Empire to wage constant wars without going bankrupt. They were the first to run a national war budget. 5. Rome. The superpower built on debt. Rome was the true master of war finance. Everything they built, every conquest they made, was paid for with debt, taxes, and financial engineering. Here's how Rome turned money into power. A. Soldiers were paid in silver, not loyalty. Rome didn't rely on patriotism. They relied on payroll. If the government missed payments, the army revolted. So Rome created massive treasury reserves just to keep soldiers loyal. B. War equals profit. Whenever Rome conquered a region, they seized gold, silver, land, slaves, timber, grain, weapons. A single victory could fund 10 future wars. War wasn't a cost. It was an investment strategy. C. The first military contractors. Armor makers, road builders, grain suppliers. These private businesses made fortunes from Rome's endless campaigns. Rome didn't just fight wars. Rome industrialized war. 6. China. The first paper money, born from war. During the Song dynasty, China was under constant threat. War drained silver, copper, and resources. To keep up, the government did something revolutionary. They printed paper money, the world's first. This wasn't innovation. It was desperation. The government couldn't mint coins fast enough to pay soldiers, so they created a new financial weapon: money created from nothing. Today we call it Quantitative easing. Yes, modern central banking was born from ancient war. 7. Medieval Europe. When bankers became kings by the Middle Ages, kings were constantly broke. Armies were expensive. Castles were expensive. Crusades were really expensive. So kings turned to bankers. Most famously, the Medici, the Fuggers, and the Knights Templar. They financed crusades, civil wars, invasions, and entire kingdoms. And their power became greater than the kings they funded. There's a saying from the era: if you want to destroy a kingdom, cut off its banker. Wars made bankers powerful. Bankers made kings dependent. This was the start of modern geopolitics. 8. The Big Shift. War creates global finance by the 1500s, 1700s. The link between war and money became impossible to separate. Standing armies required steady taxes, guns, cannons required industrial factories, global empires required banking networks. Europe discovered that controlling money was more powerful than controlling territory. Banks started issuing war bonds. Governments sold shares of future loot. Merchants invested in colonial invasions. War had become a financial product. 9. The conclusion. War built the financial world we live in, everything we know today. Banks. Interest. National budgets. Taxes. Bonds. Paper money. Central banks. All of it exists because ancient kings couldn't afford their wars. War created demand. Demand created innovation. Innovation created modern finance. The next time you hear about a war today, remember, it's not just about land or ideology. It's about money. It has always been about money. Since the first stone spear, to the first silver coin, to the first central bank. History and finance are not separate. War is the bridge that connects them.